And a very good morning to you from a sunny TT Grandstand. It is final race day here at the Isle of Man. TT races fueled by Monster Energy. The Locate.im sidecar TT race, as we said, at 10:30 this morning. 3-lap race on 12:45. The PokerStars Senior TT race over 6 laps. The road's closing very shortly in a little bit. Christy DeHaven?
That's right. Brule Park, Ramsey to Bungalow. The roads will close at 9:15. At 9 a.m, Bungalow to the Cregna Bar will be closed, and then from 9:30 the entire course will be closed. And don't forget, of course, we've got that John McGuinness lap in between the racing as well on the
it'd be
Norton.
good to see that. Don't forget also as well, if you are heading to your location, it is a bank holiday here on the Isle of Man. I know some businesses will still be open, but please, it will be quite busy on the roads, like the Sergeant Andy Reid said with the police. Get to your location quite quick, and we believe various places. In fact, I'll have a little look at the webcam of the bungalow in a few minutes' time just to check out how many people are up there, because a couple of friends of mine have been up there watching. They said it's been absolutely rammed every day. On the chat show this morning, we've got Tim Glover's coming in. Tim's here now. John Watterson from the TT News, Isle of Man newspapers here too, and Dave Moore from the Greenlight team will be joining us in a bit as well. But Christy, we've got messages coming in already, and we're on Facebook Live.
We are. We've just fired it up.
Oh heck!
We've got Alex on the wheel back there making it all work. So we are on Facebook Live. If you go to Manx Radio TT Facebook page, you can see us on there in all our post-drinking session glory. I thought you were going to
say it wasn't a drinking session. That's very irresponsible.
I know it wasn't a drinking session. I think I had 2.
Well, that's all you need.
Yeah.
2.
But yeah, we're on there. So you can post on the Facebook Live. You can obviously send us an email if you like, studio@radiott.com. You can send us a text message, 166 177. If you put TT at the front of the message, that helps us so we know that's what you're getting in touch with us about. And we are on Twitter. And I'm just going to gather a few tweets that I'll read out for you in just a second, because there's a few tweets coming in already.
Okay, good effort. Joined this morning by our Manx Radio's news editor and, of course, TT anchorman here at the TT Grandstand, Tim Glover. Tim, good morning.
Good morning.
Are you ready to be grilled?
I did put a tweet out last night
saying being
gentle with me.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't look at all that stuff. It's terrible. And John Watterson from our newspapers, TT News. John, fantastic once again. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
You all right?
Yes, very, very good, thank you.
What a week we've had. What a couple of weeks we've had. A lot of highs, a lot of lows, but the racing's been absolutely spectacular, hasn't it?
I think the weather has been the catalyst to it all, really. There's been a marvellous fortnight. In fact, for longer, we've had about 3 weeks sustained weather. Absolutely wonderful, almost unprecedented in the Isle of Man. I stopped off to see my old friend Harold Leese yesterday at Greba. And Harold, 94 now, 95 in August, he was is keen to tell me. Harold said he moved into Knockbreck. That's the farm. Everyone says it's Gorsley. It's actually Knockbreck. Yeah. He moved into Knockbreck in 1948, and it's the sunniest period, or the sunniest TT he can recall. So that's exactly 70 years. So here we are, guys. We're all here, guys and girls. We are seeing probably the sunniest and the hottest TT for 70 years.
Because we've had pretty good spells through TT, like 4 or 5 days of really hot weather, and it went rubbish, didn't we? And like you said, it started at the northwest, because the northwest had decent weather too. So that's been a month of hardly any rain, to be honest with you. So the next thing's to be a hosepipe ban on, and that'll be it, won't it? So Glover never washes his car anyway; he gets Jane to do it. So, but the racing's been great. Lap records every day. What we're going to see today, boys, we're going to look at the racing a bit later on. It's just going to be phenomenal today, I think. Everybody comes here, because what I like about being here in the morning is when you see people, they get off the boat, and this is their first port of call. They want to come up here, they want to get a T-shirt, they want to get a burger, they want to get a race programme, they want to get whatever. And you can just hear these little wheels of suitcases, because they're only coming for the day, or maybe 2 days, staying for Blount tomorrow as well. Just the little rumble of suitcase wheels across here, and they're just coming for the day just to enjoy it, because that's what some people do, still only come for senior race day, because that's the big one, isn't it? Everybody wants their hands on that big trophy, don't they, John?
They do, yes, and I think there's a lot of pressure on the guys today to deliver. I honestly think there's the 3 that stand out at the top, and it's obviously Peter Hickman, Michael Dunlop and Dean Harrison, and I just think that their speeds and their riding has been absolutely phenomenal this week, this fortnight.
If they are going head-to-head in the senior today, goodness knows where we're going.
Yeah, I think if all 3 finish, it'll take 135 lap to win it.
Absolutely. And, well, is Dean going to do what he did on the first lap? We'll look at the senior TT in detail, and, of course, the second sidecar race. The Birchalls, again, absolutely unstoppable. But the rest of the TT week, John, you obviously do the TT news. Man-hour-wise, How many hours it take you to produce each one?
I daren't say, really. I couldn't even possibly calculate, because I start work on them in probably January, February. I heard Stu Barker talking the other day with you about TT Programme, and he started doing articles then. Well, I do as well, around about January, February. I start to think about it. 1 or 2 early features. I did a feature this year on George Costain, who was a local rider who won the Manx Grand Prix in 1954. And I was fortunate enough to have an afternoon with George, not a few months before he died. He was in a home in Douglas, and George is a real character in every sense, and a lovely guy. And so I was proud to do something on George. And he had quite a career, because in his early days, he won the Manx in 54 on a wet day. John Hartle led by about 4 minutes going into the last lap, and he ran out of petrol on the mountain, a mountain box, and Sparrow, as he was known, George, came in to win it. And it was the start with him and Derek Ennett of the Southern 100 and the Ballown course, because they were both Castletown boys, and they put a lot of effort, and there was a lot of spirit behind them in Castletown particularly, to open up and start a race meeting down there. And as we know, that's flourished, and that's got stronger alongside the TT. It's now well into its over 50 years now, over 60 years now, I should say. And it just goes on, and that's, as Tim mentioned earlier, is a great meeting as well. So I hope people will enjoy that tomorrow too.
Yeah,
but George was, I was going to say that when he later on, after about 58, 59, he Reg Dearden, his sponsor, asked about a young rider that was coming through from Rhodesia called Gary Hocking, and Gary came over and spent some time living with George in Castletown, Maloo Street, and worked on their family farm. And George said he was absolutely hopeless on the farm. He said he could ride a bike, but he was hopeless on the farm. But Gary Hocking spent some weeks with George and his wife Isabel at home in Castletown, and to become a factory rider, world champion, TT winner, Gary Hocking. He and Bob Dougherty were influential in his early times. Because there was no DVDs in those days and no onboard thing. It was just time on the course, and these guys would come over. Tom Phillips spent winters here, living in Ballabruie, a winter here, learning the course, and other top riders, they had to come and do their homework that way rather than watching it on a DVD or online on whatever else.
Coming on a hire car and doing 200 laps or something, just a little bit different. Tim?
Yeah, I used to grew up opposite George Costain and in Shaw Road in Castletown, and he was a lovely fella. Yeah, absolutely smashing guy.
Drove the course car down at Ballam for quite a few years as well, didn't he? On the roads open and the inspection cars too, and obviously involved with the club. And he, like John Kenyock, he had a very, very unique sort of voice, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sparrow did a really unique sort of voice, and those sort of characters is what you need, in all forms. I seen Jackie Wood up here the other day, and as soon as he opens his voice, I can just hear him doing his Clark of the Coursing on the tannoy straight away. He's still involved as well. He's Jack. Have you got any messages there, Christy, please?
Yeah, there's some lovely ones. I've got one about the tannoy in a second as well, but we've got a lovely one. Adam is listening in Aberdeenshire, Scotland, at a wedding today, but still going to try my best to keep up with the senior race. I hope it's not his own wedding.
Do you, Adam, hang on a minute, 135! Can you imagine that? Like, everyone be going, what's he doing? He's got little
If anybody has any reason to... Oh, no! No. Roger says, morning from Leeds. Thanks to all at Radio TT for the excellent coverage all week. Brilliant guys. It's really lovely. Safe racing peeps next year as well. Susan says, good luck everyone. May the best racer win on the day. Stay safe. And thanks to Manx Radio for keeping us updated. Thank you very much for that. And good luck to the sidecars as well. And let me see. Pete says, good luck to all those in the senior and the sidecar 2 race today. See you all next year. Those are all on Facebook Live. Couple on Twitter as well. PVC and Patio Clean has had to go home but says listening up the ladders today, and we'll be watching the ITV coverage too, which is brilliant. As I said, I did get to see some of that the other day. It's fantastic. And Ian says, morning guys, love listening over the last fortnight, hoping for a fast and safe senior day, and has said any chance we can mention the Gary's Attention Paddock ringtone, please.
Oh really? Go on.
Because they are fundraising. So I'm just clicking on the Just Giving page here. We'll try and post this on our Twitter feed shortly. But they are fundraising. They've currently raised £460. They want to get to 500. So they've not got too far to go. And they are raising money for the Rob Vine Fund, I believe. So we'll try and post that.
Glover's just given me 20p. That's the first time he's ever given me anything.
It?
Okay,
that's so nice.
They only found it on the floor.
On the deck chair out there.
So it's all based on Gary's attention paddock thing. He says it makes the hairs on my arms stand on end, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that feels it. So yeah, we'll post all the details of that Just Giving page on our Twitter.
That wedding one's just reminded me of a story pre-Manx Radio when I was working in a bank, and you could have either Tynwald Day off or Senior Race Day off, but you couldn't have both. And I always went for obviously Senior Race Day, and much better than Tynwald Day in my eyes. But there was one time I had to work, and it was actually the Classic 92 Senior, and I had to work. And I remember I took a little radio into the bank with an earpiece, said I was going to be in a meeting all day, went and hid in the room and just listened to that race, and it was given away when his lot won by the cheering that was coming from the room.
No.
And I was found out and hauled in before the boss.
So what's changed from you working to the bank to now? Because we could never find you in the radio station either. Where's Glover gone? He's disappeared again. He's not outside having a
I like the way Tim says. One time I had to work, and I thought,
exactly.
in all the years he was in the bank, he actually had to work one time.
Steady now.
Well, you did forget. You omitted to mention that you actually wrote the hockey column for me in the paper in those days.
I did.
And worked behind the bar on the Whitestone as well, from memory too.
Yes.
Just quickly about the Ratcliffe Butchers post-TT races down there tomorrow. Okay, the roads will be closed from 1 o'clock till 4 o'clock on Saturday. And then, of course, they'll open for a little while again, then close again for the racing from 5 to 8:30. And if postponed, they'll do 1 o'clock till 6 on Sunday, but it's not looking like that at the moment.
Going down there to see that. Just a quick correction. I said that Mike Castle's raising money for the Rob Vine Fund. It's actually the Mike Hailwood Foundation and Isle of Man TT Marshals Association that they're raising money for.
Joined on the chat show this morning by Tim Glover and John Watterson. We're going to have the Met check around about 8:45 this morning. And of course, we'll have more questions for the guys. If you want to get in touch with a question quickly, Christy, before we go to the break.
166 177 on text, or you can tweet us at Manx Radio TT, or if you follow us on Facebook Live, you can post comments underneath our faces.